They call it the sailor's graveyard. For hundreds of years, it has been the ultimate trap of the ocean. Forget the Bermuda Triangle. If you want to see where nature truly loses its mind, look to the bottom of the map. Cape Horn is not just a rocky point. It is a giant wall at the edge of the earth. Here, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans do not just meet, they crash together in a violent, never-ending war. In these freezing waters, waves as tall as a 10-story building are not myths, they are completely real. The winds here do not just blow, they scream. These freezing winds travel for 12,000 miles with zero land to slow them down. Over 800 ships and 10,000 sailors are lost in these dark depths. The bottom of the sea is literally covered in broken ships. Even today, modern ship captains are terrified to go near it. Your modern GPS does not matter here. Your giant steel ship does not matter. Only the angry ocean matters. In this video, we are going to explore the most dangerous waters on the planet. I will show you exactly why this tiny spot remains the ultimate nightmare for humans. Make sure you stick around until the very end. I'm going to reveal the terrifying secret of why the world's biggest ships still have no choice but to face this deadly trap today. Welcome to the end of the world. You might be wondering something obvious right now. If Cape Horn is so dangerous, why go there at all? After all, we built the Panama Canal over 100 years ago for this exact reason. It is the ultimate shortcut between the Atlantic and the Pacific. So why do ships not just use the safe route? The answer is simple. Our ships got too big. Today, our global world relies on massive cargo ships and giant oil tankers. We call these monsters post-Panamax ships. That's a fancy way of saying they are literally too wide and too heavy to fit through the Panama Canal. They carry the fuel for our cities and the thousands of products we buy every single day. Because they cannot take the shortcut, these billion-dollar giants have no choice. They are forced to travel all the way down to the bottom of the world. They must face the graveyard. Now, you might have seen a video online of a luxury cruise ship visiting Cape Horn on a bright sunny day. That can make the danger look like a myth, but do not be fooled by a pretty picture. Those tourist ships only go during a very short, lucky window in the middle of summer. For the rest of the year, the Horn is a freezing, violent death trap. And for the giant cargo ships that keep our world running, they don't get to pick the weather. They have to sail straight into the storm. To understand why this place is so deadly, you have to look at the wind. Between South America and Antarctica, there is a special zone called the Screaming Sixties. In most parts of the world, mountains and trees slow the wind down, but at this latitude, there is literally zero land. The wind circles the entire globe, getting faster and faster for 12,000 miles. By the time it hits Cape Horn, it is moving with the power of a permanent hurricane. Then there is the water. The Atlantic and Pacific Oceans are like two giant liquid mountains slamming into each other. But the real danger is hiding underneath the surface. In the open ocean, the floor is over 13,000 feet deep. But as ships approach the Horn, the floor suddenly jumps up to only a few hundred feet. This creates a bottleneck effect. All that deep, heavy ocean water has nowhere to go but up. This is how rogue waves are born. Imagine a wall of water as tall as a 5-story building appearing out of nowhere. These aren't just normal waves, they are thousands of tons of pressure. They can smash the heavy glass on a ship's bridge or even snap a steel hull in half. This unique mix of narrow water, shallow floors, and infinite wind makes Cape Horn a literal factory for the biggest waves on Earth. We like to think that our modern technology makes us invincible. We have GPS that can track a ship's position within inches. We have massive steel engines with thousands of horsepower. But at Cape Horn, nature doesn't care about your technology. In fact, your technology can actually become your biggest weakness. The biggest danger isn't just the waves, It is an engine failure. In the middle of the ocean, if your engine stops, you just float and wait for help. But at Cape Horn, you're trapped in a narrow funnel. If your power goes out, the wind and the currents will push your ship towards the jagged rocks in just minutes. You become a giant, helpless piece of metal being tossed around by a hurricane. Even the strongest steel has a breaking point. When a 100-foot wave hits a ship, it isn't just wet. It is like being hit by a fleet of semi-trucks all at once. This green water can crush the heavy windows on the bridge where the captain stands. It can flood the electronics and short out the entire ship. Once the computers go dark, the ship loses its ability to steer. At that point, you aren't a sailor anymore. You are just a passenger in a graveyard. This is why, even in 2026, the most experienced captains in the world still feel a chill in their spine when they see the horn on their radar. Beneath the surface of these cold waves lies a world of shadows. They call it the graveyard of the Pacific for a reason. Over the last 5 centuries, more than 800 ships have sunk right here. If you could drain all the water away, you would see a literal carpet of broken wood and twisted steel. More than 10,000 people have lost their lives trying to turn this corner. In the old days of wooden sailing ships, a trip around the Horn was a coin flip. You either made it or you disappeared forever. Some of these ships became legends. Stories tell of ghost ships that were seen wandering the mist with no crews left alive. One of the most famous stories is about the HMS Bounty. Even with one of the best crews in history, they fought the waves for weeks and couldn't get past. They eventually had to turn around and give up. It shows that the ocean doesn't care how brave you are. It only cares about the physics of the storm. There is also a famous legend among sailors about the great Albatross. These massive birds have wings that can reach 11 feet across. They follow ships through the worst storms at the Horn without ever getting tired. Sailors used to believe that every albatross was actually the soul of a sailor who drowned in these waters. They believed that if you killed one, you would be cursed forever. Even today, when sailors see these birds gliding through the freezing mist, they remember the thousands of souls resting on the sea floor below them. So, is Cape Horn still the most dangerous place on Earth? When you compare it to the Bermuda Triangle or the North Atlantic, there is no contest. The Bermuda Triangle is mostly a myth, but the dangers at the Horn are simple math. You have the strongest winds, the shallowest bottlenecks, and the biggest waves all meeting in one tiny corner of the world. It is a perfect storm that never actually ends. Even with our satellites and massive engines, we are still just guests in these waters. Earlier, I promised to tell you why the world's biggest ships still have no choice but to face this trap. The truth is about time and money. For the massive tankers that carry our global trade, waiting for the weather to clear or trying to find another way would cost millions of dollars every single day. The global economy literally forces these captains to gamble with the graveyard just to keep the shelves in our stores full. Surviving a trip around the Horn is still the Mount Everest of sailing. It is the one place where humans are reminded that we haven't truly conquered the planet. We might have reached the moon and mapped the stars, but we still haven't tamed the bottom of the world. The next time you see a giant cargo ship in the distance, remember that it might have just come from the screaming Sixties. It might have just survived the only place on Earth that ships are still truly afraid to go. The mystery of Cape Horn is just one of many secrets hidden at the bottom of our oceans. If you found this journey to the end of the world fascinating, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more deep dives into the world's most dangerous places. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new mystery. We have a lot more stories to tell about the parts of our planet that most people are too afraid to visit. If you have a theory about why Cape Horn is so deadly, or if you know of another nautical graveyard we should cover next, let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you for watching, and stay curious. I'll see you in the next video.